The cost of accounting services in Montenegro depends on the amount of work involved. It's quite logical that a non-operating company pays less than an operating one, simply because there's less work to be done. You can find the cost of our services for managing non-operating companies on our website. The link to the website is in the description of this video. The cost of accounting services for an operating company is higher. How much higher? It depends on the amount of work. From 100 euros per month plus VAT. Since most Russian immigrants are various types of remote workers who provide different services, there isn't a large volume of work with these companies. Yes, the workload is higher than with non-operating companies, but not by much, since they don't have a large number of outgoing invoices, no fixed asset accounting, and usually no VAT accounting either. Accordingly, the amount of work does increase, but not significantly. That's why the price usually doesn't go above the mentioned 100 euros. If these conditions are suitable for preparing documents for submission to the tax office or opening a bank account, please send us a photo of the company seal. If the company was not opened by us but by someone else, additionally, send a photo of the company registration decision and the photo of the founder's passport. When preparing documents for submission to the tax office or opening a bank account, we always ask everyone what salary you want to declare to the tax authorities. Because every company director as an employee of the company must be registered with the tax office. According to the rules, your salary cannot be lower than the amount you stated at the MUP when obtaining your residence permit. For example, in Herceg-Novi this is 450 euros, and in some other cities it is higher. Naturally, the amount of taxes depends on the size of your salary. In practice, many Russians, taking advantage of the fact that there is no connection between the tax office and the MAP, declare one salary at the MAP, but in reality cheat and pay themselves 4 times less. Well friends, such a connection has now been established. Now the MAP knows the amount of your salary. Because of this, I don't know if those who cheat will be able to renew their residence permit in a year. So my recommendation remains the same as I've basically been giving for the past 2 years. Get a job with the correct salary that you declared to the MAP and pay yourself the proper full taxes on that salary. Yes, it's a bit more expensive, but at least you can be sure there won't be any complications. You can be certain there won't be any problems with renewing your residence permit. So I'm not trying to mess with anyone's head. My job is basically just to give a warning. After that, it's up to you whether you want to listen or not. If someone comes to me and says, I want to use your services, but I'm going to pay myself a salary that's 4 times lower than the legal minimum, I'll say, all right, that's your responsibility. Let's do it your way. Next, you are entitled to free medical care, for which you need to obtain what's called a health booklet, which grants you the right to free medical services. You can do this after registering with the tax office. It's done at the Dom Zdravlja. We assist our accounting clients with this process. Remember this, or better yet, write it down somewhere. In a year, as soon as you renew your residence permit, bring us a copy of your new residence card. This is necessary for renewing the employment contract at the tax office. Otherwise, there is some kind of fine if you don't do this. If you plan to rent an office, rent it in the name of the company, not as an individual. I added this point to my standard instructions. This is after I had a situation where 2 guys came and for some reason rented an office as individuals. I don't understand the logic behind it, but after that I decided to tell everyone it's better not to do this. If your company plans to operate, you need to set up fiscalization. This process takes a long time, so it's better to think about it in advance. Ideally, you should do this at the stage of preparing documents for accounting, so that you don't end up spending several months opening a bank account and then waiting several more months for fiscalization to be completed. In other words, it's best to do all of this at the same time. After completing the preparatory steps, that is, after opening a bank account and registering with the tax office, you need to remember that taxes are paid by the 15th day of each month following the reporting period. For example, taxes for September are paid by mid-October. Right now we're talking about taxes on the director's salary, which are monthly and must be paid every month without fail. So if you're going away somewhere, don't say, oh, I left and can't pay my taxes on time. No, you need to pay your taxes in advance. They can be paid in advance. So you come to me and say, in a month, I'm leaving for 2 months. Well, that's not a problem at all. Let's prepare the documents now. Go to the bank and pay 2 months ahead. Or, as a second option, connect a bank client system to the company's account so you can pay taxes remotely from anywhere in the world. So, overall, how do you pay taxes? There are 3 options. The first one, get yourself a duplicate company stamp. We can order it. An automatic one costs 30 euros. A manual one, a wooden stamp, costs 20 euros. Every month you receive payment templates from us online. Fill them out at home, stamp and sign them, and take them to the bank. The second option, you get internet banking. Everything else is the same. You receive a payment template from us, go to the bank and pay everything. The third option, you come to our office by the 15th of each month, receive the documents in paper form, sign them and take them to the bank. And here's a very important point. Taxes are paid not from the moment you receive your residence permit, but from the moment you open the company. Many people find this illogical and start arguing with me, but there's no need to argue with me. We didn't make this up. We act according to what the tax office told us. That's why the first payment is always significantly larger than all the subsequent ones. That is, by the time you open the company, get your residence permit and open a bank account, a lot of time has passed, so you immediately have to pay for the new month. All subsequent payments will always be the same, always a standard amount. The first payment is this large one. We pay taxes from the moment the company is open, but after the company's bank account is open, right now there are a lot of such recommendations on Facebook. Apparently some accountants who have just recently arrived and are only in their first year of work are spreading the idea that you can pay taxes at the post office without waiting for the company's bank account to be open. Guys, you can't do that. Technically you can pay taxes at the post office, and they will even pass. And on the tax office website, you can even see the monetary cards showing that a certain company has paid a certain amount. But the problem is that the general rule of accounting is that there cannot be a single entry that is a posting without supporting documents. In this case, the supporting document is the bank statement. Accordingly, if you don't have this bank statement, meaning if you pay taxes not from the company's account but at the post office, then accordingly, there is no basis for making the corresponding entries. In other words, it creates a mess in the accounting. So you end up having to deliberately make some explanations, some irregularities, just to somehow sort it all out. That is, from the start, you are consciously allowing errors in your bookkeeping. I don't understand why anyone would do that. As I've already said, what we do is open a company account and then pay everything from it. But we submit reports from the moment the company is established up to the present, right after the tax office accepts them. We don't wait for the account to be opened. So first we file the report, and then when the account is ready, we pay the taxes. This is because the tax office has started sending threatening letters to those who don't file reports on time, and we don't want to see what happens if we ignore them. In other words, it's better to submit everything more or less on time. Reports are filed online, which allows us to provide accounting services in all cities of Montenegro, not just Podgorica and Herceg Novi. If your company isn't operating, then to pay taxes, your own salary and accounting fees, you'll need to make loans from the company's founder. A non-operating company has no income from the sale of goods or services. I think this point is obvious. Accordingly, the only way to replenish the company's account in order to meet your obligations is a loan from the founder. It's important for you to know that all banks in Montenegro have a certain cash deposit limit that you can bring to the bank without having to explain the source of the funds. As a rule, this limit is up to 10,000 euros per year. If you exceed this limit in many banks, you will not be able to deposit money into your personal account or into the company's account. Keep track of these limits yourself and do not exceed them. If you need to deposit more than 10,000 euros into an account, then open several personal accounts in different banks accordingly. Or alternatively, process part or even all of your revenue through your company's account. That's all from me. Goodbye, everyone.